ICOMOS CV, key priorities with regard to urban heritage. The ICOMOS International Scientific Committee on Historic Cities, Towns and Villages, CV, researches and promotes the understanding, protection, conservation, urban planning and management of historic cities, towns, villages and urban areas. The conservation of heritage in cities is a commitment to the historical layers of the city. The aim is to preserve the historical fabric and basic structure of the city and to illustrate the local historical dimensions in future urban development. The main task of urban heritage conservation is to research, protect, and maintain the architectural documents of the past that give a city its unmistakable identity. There's a lot to be done in our field, in the study and research on issues pertaining to the protection of heritage, like abandonment, large works, tourism, sustainable development, climate change. In historic modern cities, villages, urban areas, and historical landscapes. In the development of the work of ICOMOS for the contribution of culture and heritage in the sustainable development of cities, villages, and urban areas. In the study of the repercussions of climate change on urban heritage. My vision is to contribute to developing solutions and taking action in cities and communities, in implementing the new urban agenda to accelerate the achievement of the UN Sustainable Development Goals, the SDGs, by 2030, with a particular emphasis on urban regeneration, especially in the context of climate change. We all have to promote cities for all that are socially inclusive and participative, affordable, accessible, and equitable, economically vibrant and inclusive, collectively managed, and democratically governed. Cities that are regenerative and resilient, have shared identities and sense of place. The COVID-19 pandemic is urging all cities to urgently respond to a global crisis that threatens not only the health of the population, but the economy, infrastructure, and social cohesion of the human settlements. In some areas, the current health crisis has increased the pressure on local authorities to act. This is particularly true for the inner cities, whose functional change will be massively accelerated business closures. The pandemic also shows us how important green and other open spaces are. Urban green and the newly conceived distribution of public space based on new concepts of mobility are indispensable. Considering the far-reaching impact of the pandemic, these urgent demands have to be addressed without panic. Rather, the pandemic could be seen as an opportunity for cooperation, solidarity, and new impulse for sustainable development. Resilience in historic cities is an integrative process with the social, environmental, and economic components meeting the challenges of social inclusion, the digital revolution and sustainable development. The CV webinar, Resilience of Historic Cities in Times of COVID-19, was a successful exchange on practices and examples that went beyond theory to integrate or develop solutions to local economy issues with social and human dimensions in the heritage and cultural context. The approach of the UNESCO 2011 recommendation on the historic urban landscape helps to better integrate urban heritage conservation into strategies for resilient neighborhoods, livable cities, socio-economic development, and planning tools. There is a worldwide interest in this approach, which is endorsed by UNESCO. It is a helpful and appropriate tool for resilient historic cities. Thank you for your attention.